In the back room, and the gold band on the ring finger of this man's hand was cold against the skin near Leyb's opening, as this man, what was really only made from water, readied to inslide into Leyb, and Leyb was for a gathering of moments become gebenched, blessed, with electrish, Amerikanisch upfilledness, and an away feeling, and quiet. On his third time at crickets, Leyb met Charles. Sehr angenehm, baby. Ich glaub nicht, dass die ganze Welt ist cheshech. I do not believe that all the world is darkness. Leyb quieted to himself, after passing under the door's lintel, not recalling from where precisely came this phrase, feeling only the way it slightly settled the dust, what rose in him with each breath. And a good evening to you, Naya Feygeles, said a man what had in-walked just after Leyb, and was up-draping his coat on the coat-rack. He off-took his hat and tipped it to Leyb. Despite having by this point passed most of his years in the belly of the Goldene Medina, Leyb remained eternally green beast newcome, and so had failed to develop a fluent comprehension of modernische Amerikanische eugenics. Leyb knew only to sense Jew or Goy by just opening his nostrils, and so, nostrils flared, Leyb did right away sense that the man what had in-walked just behind him was not a Jew, lacking, as his scent was, in that particular underhum of mashed seven fish. "You're knowing to speak Jewish?" Leyb said in American. "Don't look so verwundert," said the man. "I'm not surprised from anything," Leyb said. "Only I wanted to tell you that feygeles just is meaning bird." "You don't say," said the man, upraising only one of his eyebrows. Leyb searched the drawers of his chest for a shtickle of unjewsome American what he might place on his tongue. "I do say?" Leyb said. "All right, new bird," the man said, placing his hat among the 16 or 20 other hats. "How about you buy me a drink to make up for any potential iniquities? A big pinecone like you must have a few extra rubles." The man touched a hand to his belly. "And I ought to be able to scrounge up a pound of flesh, just in case." Leyb did not laugh. He was then only looking upon this man's fingers, what were stained with ink, and what were neatly up-scrolling the sleeves of his shirt, and at the soft dance of tendons in the man's naked becoming forearms, and inside Leyb, his taive stretched and scratched at the back of his eyes. Somewhere else in the main room of crickets, someone screamed, maybe with laughter, maybe without. "Lighten up, kid," the man said, searching for Leyb's eyes with his eyes. Leyb nodded, looked at the man's eyes, looked away. "I should introduce myself more properly. I'm Charles," Charles said, outstretching his hand, "fellow traveler of Red Emma, stuck in the tower of our very own city hall, which is to say, new boy, I'm on your side if you're on mine." Leyb removed his hand from his pocket, leaving a film of moisture on the coins therein, wet beading on the metal like dew on the Rebbe's iron gate in the mornings of Zatelsk's late summer. "Yo, but the gates can rot, and the hairs from the longest Rebbe beard outfall, next to the way what dewdrops clung to the fingers of pine. Remember, Leybele?" And grasped Charles's hand with his hand. Charles's palm was dry and warm, and Leyb ran his mind over the feeling of Charles's hand, over-brushing his cheek and then grasping the back of his neck and sliding down his back and toward pulling him inward to where there would be softness and hardness alike. And then the mustful bar, what was not really a bar, what was really just a den of tin and furnace smoke and coagulated dreams, began to feel once more unto Leyb as a river. On that note, did you hear that Comrade Goldman might be allowed back for a second crack at the City of Brotherly Love later this year? "Oh," Leyb said, not much caring this way or that from the second coming of M.K. Goldman or from brothersome fissures in the City of Love. "Anyhow," Charles said, "how about that drink?" Leyb had heard the Halper saying that the blacks, originally Schwarze, much as I would like to take Leyb and Gittl at their word regarding their overheard suggestion that this term might be deployed without malice, both lived experience and literary exploration serve to undermine said claim. Even if Schwarze is not identical to the word upon which America was founded, and which it continues to wield in order to undergird the brutalization, exploitation, and racialized class stratification requisite to sate its various capitalistic and cannibalistic appetites, the term is grotesque and hateful enough in its own right. "We're very much poor, more even than the poor Jews of Philadelphia, so he took his dewy rubles, what he had actually very few,